It was a daring and dramatic break-in. The target, a nuclear facility with an estimated 400 tons of highly enriched uranium. That's enough to fuel more than 10,000 nuclear warheads. As a result of the security breach, the facility, known as Y-12 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, was shut down for 2 weeks, and congressional hearings were held on how our nuclear material could be so vulnerable. So who were these perpetrators? Super spies armed with James Bond-like gadgets? Nope. They were an octogenarian nun, a house painter, and a Vietnam vet armed with 2 pairs of bolt cutters. The trio now face the possibility of lengthy sentences in federal prison, but the ease with which they cut through 3 fences and sauntered by a sign warning of the use of lethal force is raising serious questions. And that is exactly what they were hoping for. We sat down with Sister Megan Gillespie Rice to hear how and why they did it. Were you surprised that night how far you guys got?
Totally. We would have felt it was okay if we got to the outer fence, because it was a part that nobody ever went to. Yes.
What were your emotions that night? Were you excited? Were you nervous?
Very pleased to go through. Yeah, we were able to get this far, this far, this far, this far, and to do in probably 15 or 20 minutes what we thought we ought to do quickly, and never thought we'd have the chance to do it.
You make it all this way, and you were prepared in a way to make it because you had brought some supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Including some
we prepared very carefully to be the most clear message, and we had a statement written down to tell what each thing meant.
They had come to Y-12 to make a point, and so they scrawled slogans of protest on the walls and splattered the building with human blood. Then, with a hammer, they began literally chipping away at the nuclear infrastructure they say is immoral and even criminal.
This is so outrageous and such a cause of death, imminent death, terrible suffering, all the attention that's put into these objects, which can never be used without helping to extinguish the planet. And yet it's continued, and they're guarded at least $1 billion a year.
Not very effectively, it turns out.
This is the taxpayers' money, which is denied to serve the poor and causes people to sleep on the street tonight.
Your ultimate goal, the point of your action and your protest, is to get rid of all nuclear weapons.
Yeah, it's communication of the truth, which is so blatant. I mean, it's no big deal.
So what don't people see? And
I think they've been so miseducated. They've forgotten this is before you were born. Yeah. It's ancient history. I happened to have been 9 years old when I was first aware that something was brewing and it was evil. And it's never left me. It's accompanied me, and I neglected to do anything about it until I was 82. So I'm guilty, very guilty.
This nuclear complex,
yes.
And I don't mean complex, the specific facility. But this entire industry that the U.S. supports and continues. Do you blame the U.S. government for that? Or is it 300 million people that are complicit in what you're complaining about?
You're saying it. You've said it. It's everybody, the whole world. We are all responsible. Once we know what it did, once that first test was done and it was successful in the desert of New Mexico on the 16th of July, 1945, 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before it was used on innocent people, when all of the scientists knew it should never needed to be used. It should never be used. They saw it in the desert and they knew that it would work.
Maybe unlikely, it's possible that you could serve a very long sentence because of this.
Okay, where we're serving. People are learning. This is what they do in the United States.
So if you live out your days in jail because of this?
No problem. I've been in prison. They're wonderful people in prisons. It was really hard for me to leave after only 6 days with the women that I was with only that time. I've been in other prisons for 6 months. And they are wonderful people.
There is much more on the break-in at Y12 in Dan Zach's lengthy print piece. You can see the URL there. We've set up a special page for it. The 3 accused perpetrators of the break-in at Y12 go on trial in federal court this May.